All right, Coach Frye, another home meet in the books for you guys, and another huge success. Not only was a huge crowd out at Kreger Track to watch the Gamecock Invitational last Saturday, but what they saw were some of the fastest times in the entire world this season. And of course, TT's 200 mark of 2014. I know it's the best sea level time that you've ever coached. It's the fastest time in the NCAA this season. It's the fastest time in school history. It's the third fastest time in the world. Did you see that coming from TT? That was a big time drop and a big PR for him. He was an All-American, I know, indoors, but still, that's a huge effort. Did you see that coming?
Not this early, but TT's indicators indoors were a lot better than his performance. He just had a little setback going into the conference meet. But prior to the conference meet, he was on a tear. I mean, I thought he would have went 20-30 indoors, and the conference meet kind of set him back a little bit. But some of his workouts were indicating that he could run really low. I thought this year, reasonably, that he could go right at 20 flat. But no indicators, because he had a 300 on Tuesday last week that was 32.9, which was really good. In a few minutes later, he took a 5-minute rest and ran a 150. 15-minute rest, and then 15 minutes and run another 150, and both of those 150s were fast off of that short. And I was thinking he might have been a little fatigued going into Saturday, a little scared. So we decided not to run 100 meters, just priming for the 200 meters in the 4x1. But his great anchor on the 4x1 kind of shocked his system. Like I said, you do certain workouts, but there's nothing like 100% effort. And you only get 100% at track meets. It's hard to do that. And so when he had that sensational anchor leg on the 4x1, I think it stimulated back to that kind of thing. And being at home, a great home crowd, and a relay is nothing like a relay to cause you to get the adrenaline rolling. And so I think that kind of got him going, that he could have a good day.
You mentioned that you expected him to do that, but not so early. So whether it's with TT or any athlete, because I know that they're all unique, but when you have somebody run a little bit faster than you expected early in the season, and you've still got conference, you still got regionals, you still got nationals, how do you manage that person to make sure that they stay in that kind of shape and that they can peak again when it really, really counts for you guys?
That's a delicate, because the requirements is, when you've got an athlete that has that kind of potential, controlling it is something that you only got so many bullets, and you got to make sure that you use them right. Here's another big meet this week, and you got to be careful, because when you get sore off in max efforts, when you put that kind of effort, and I had talked to him yesterday about this week's workout, the intensity of it is we need to drop it. It's hard to keep something going for 6 weeks.
Sure.
So it's or do you take advantage of it while it's there and then take a 2-week low before the conference and risk the chance of dulling, and the body start thinking that it's that it's in a training mode. So those are just things that you have to be aware of, and you have to get the athlete to buy in to. So, but TT's been quite easy to talk to about, because he plans on running later in the summer. So I think we'll be able to manage it. He's going to be at his home track for the conference meet. He'll get the same adrenaline. He's having success on the track. But we're going to try and see, can we do something with the 100 meters? The 200 meters takes a little different effort and a little different training. So we've done enough of that. And that was his first 200 of the year. So it was managed. The Florida Relays 4x2 helped set up this effort, because he had a really low split on the 4x2 at Florida Relays. Took a couple of weeks down, and then now we're back to a 200. So collaboration. Listening to him, and he listened to me, and then we come up with a plan.
Well, what sort of things are you hearing from the other coaches and the other athletes that are coming to Kreger Track? Because I know right alongside TT, you had the Georgia guy, Kendall Williams, who ran 20:32, which is also an incredibly fast time. And, you guys set another 20:25 PRs this week. I know other teams are doing the same thing. And it seems like jumpers and throwers are also finding their way and putting up big marks at Kreger Track. So from the two sets of visitors that have come, I know you're proud of the track and you see it as one of the fastest tracks in the world. But what are those outsiders who come for the weekend telling you?
Well, like right now, we only planning on having about 10 teams in this week, and now it's up to 15. And then we have kids that are not going to the world relays down in the Bahamas. The ones that are not running there on world relay teams, we had calls from people that want to, is the track that fast? That well, we hear it. So at Mount Sac last week, we got a phone call from some people that are adjusting their travel schedules to run here. I don't know how popular we want to be. Because in a year from now we'll probably change things and lock into where we're not accepting late entries and people
Sure.
changing their schedules because I told people from the beginning it can't be any place with a bigger turn or IAAF restricts it. And as far as the surface is concerned, Mondo has always made the great surface. It just is the best of the ones that they've made. So it is lots of time you have to do something for people to be believers. The small schools that come here are tremendous believers. Georgia is a believer, and I think all the schools that come here are coming back.
Sure.
That's no question about it. The new ones that come will come back. It's just if your kids want to run fast and they're not running fast, and you want good timing to shock you up to where you can run fast off of your training, we're just an ideal place for that to happen. Every coach coaches, but when you get some assistance in the surface that you run on, it helps the kid's body to learn that experience. And it's hard to get that on a cushiony track. 100% effort on a softer surface that doesn't give you the return. You work harder, you get a fast time. But when you get the muscle memory to remember the return at max speed, then it should lead to you having great performances. So I expect some of the fastest people in the country to constantly visit Columbia, South Carolina. So we got to kind of pick up on how we're going to have an elite level meet such that we let some of the elite runners come, and how do we continue to, we got a logistics problem. How do we continue to allow the schools have supported our program for years
Sure.
with track meets that are smaller programs. How do we continue that? So it's a challenge. How do we keep the facilities such that the public doesn't use spikes and run on the track, because it's not the track where you can allow just anyone to wear and tear on the track. So there are lots of things, but what we hear, it is the real deal.